I can get the YouTube to work this time. I think it's working, but it doesn't show anything live. Okay, there we go. That's good. That didn't work last time. Let's see, did this... This did not work, though. I'm supposed to have an announcement that automatically comes when I go live on Twitch. Oh, friggin' hell. Yeah, it ninja'd me. So yeah, it is working. That's great. Just has like a 20-30 second delay there. That's perfect. So everything should be working. All right. Wait for first person to chat and tell me the sound levels. I think everything's the same as last stream, so hopefully it should work out. But today we are going to be improving some combat and animation stuff. And well, we'll be checking out that, but for the most part, we're probably going to make a modular... Hello, Urethra Stretcher 69. Thank you for the follow. We've met our follower goal, and we got to test out the new follow notification, which I'm very happy with. That Talon trot in the background is actually my voice. It's my most my proudest achievement in life is to be able to do a good Talon trot. But yeah, today we are going to be making a modular rig for this guy and showing how fast we can actually do like functional animation stuff in Unreal using the inbuilt tools. And as well, we'll be checking out some stuff that other teammates have done in terms of animation and combat polishing stuff. So I don't think I'm on the most updated branch, but what we've done since last time in the last stream, we did this. We started doing the blocking out of the animations, and off stream I refined them to the point where I'm somewhat happy with them. I think this is going to be okay enough for the showcase. We're showing off that we have like blocks in our Dark Souls style combat, but in the pursuit of making things cartoony and whimsical and fun, our block is a little bit different in that Sigurd pulls out a giant pot, and there's still some bugs with it, but the animations themselves look good enough to show off. I love the when he tosses it off himself. But yeah, so let's check and see what's been done since last time in terms of combat. So where we left off. Combat, kind of shit, honestly. Honestly, it's just me putting in some basic stuff and not doing any real refinement, but like Souls-like and just action RPG combat needs a lot of refinement and tuning. Oh, another follower. I cannot see the notification. I'll have to deal with that soon. But thank you for whoever followed. If you give me a shout out in chat, I'll shout you out as well. But yeah, in a Souls-like combat system, there's tons and tons of little things that go on to make it feel right. Like right now, I'm locked here, stationary. Whenever I'm doing my attacks, there's no root motion to these attacks. There's no motion warping. Root motion basically is movement that's inherent to the animation. So if I had like a step forward, like if he stepped forward each attack, that would be some root motion. As well, a lot of these games need like motion warping, where you kind of nudge the character a little bit rotationally and translation-wise to be a bit closer to the enemy, so that things connect a bit better. And some of the other teammates in the background have been working on that. Our animator has purportedly pushed an improvement to this that has some root motion, and our programmer has had a very prototype basic system for motion warping done. So let's pull and see what we can do. Oh hi, Romeo Wildfire. I don't know if you're a different name on Discord or if you're just finding this somehow. But welcome. Okay, I actually pulled that. I need to now pull in the motion warping stuff and merge it into my branch. Yes, I am sure I want to merge it. All right, now let's relaunch the project, and hopefully we should have the motion warping stuff in. And after we see this kind of like evolution of what we're going for the player, in terms of like a little bit of refinement in the motion, I'm gonna show you guys how I intend to go about improving the enemies' reactions, because half of it is like how the enemies react to your attacks and everything, and all those little things pile up to make combat feel better. So now let's see. There's a debug spear here, and it looks like whenever I saw a print message for when I'm in range of something, so I presume there's like a distance that you'll motion warp from, but let me try. See, whenever I'm not in the angle, I presume here, so I'm not motion warping, but if I go like this, he starts to, like, I'm not pressing anything here. He should be moving closer to the enemies. Maybe they're setting warp target. That should mean that this guy's targeted. I think there's probably some bugs here, because it doesn't... Or maybe you have to be pressing down one of the keys, because it seems pretty inconsistent. But what's good is you can see the intent here is that there is like a little bit of snappiness here to the motion warping. Is my source supposed to be 720p? Probably not. Maybe it's just my internet's slow or something, and it's down-resing it. Hello, Desura. We're just looking over the motion warping right now, and it's good to... It's a good start. So now, like, the other component of this is the attack animation. That motion warping and the root motion of an animation kind of work in conjunction, because let's say you have an attack combo of 3 attacks, and each one has like a step forward. If you time the motion warping of the attacks to happen during the step forward, there's a lot of leeway that your brain will kind of interpret the frames where even if you like just take one step forward, you can like move the character like 2-3 meters forward, and it just sort of looks like a lunge. And like you can do this in like very realistic games even, but in these stylized types of games, it's like nothing looks out of the ordinary to like move the character like really a lot during these in-between frames. So I'm gonna go to the map that I have set up for the animation stuff. And we're gonna take a look at the sequence that our animator pushed. And animating in Unreal, you basically make a level sequence and treat them sort of like you would a Maya file or something, where you just open up the map, and then that's like you're opening up Maya, and then you open up a level sequence, and that's like opening up the file, and then that, you know, brings you the timeline where all your stuff happens. But as you can see, there's a vast improvement from our old animation to this. There's like hop forwards, a step forward. There's just a little bit of root motion in each of the steps. I don't think we created a linked animation sequence, which I think we'll do now, which is we baked it before. But a linked animation sequence would allow us to just save this animation sequence, and then just like it would update automatically. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Sigurd animations. Yeah, trying to motion warp without root motion makes the warp look a bit jarring. That is very true. there's a little bit of nuance in timing it, right? But like if you time it in conjunction with the root motion, like 90% of the time it looks pretty good. So this is attack combo something or other. Maybe it's not a montage. Attack combo 01. I presume it's this. Yeah, that looks right. I'm gonna just copy and paste the name for what we're gonna override with the linked sequence. So whenever our animator saves from now on, it would presumably overwrite this, assuming everything went well. So like I save this, now it should be the correct animation here. And here we want to turn on root motion. It's already it has the settings from the last animation that was there that we overwrote. So that's good. Things should work relatively well. There might be some timing mismatches for how Thirstyra put the notifies for the motion warp, but we'll see. This is, I think, less root motion than what was going on in here. Let's check. Attack. Combo. Yeah, I think maybe there's some scaling going on. Let's turn that off to see something. Yeah, I think maybe the root motions let's check here. Motion warping. It might scale the root motion here during these time periods. Let's see if they even match up. That's decent enough. Decent enough. Yeah, the animator didn't change the timing very much. So that's good. I haven't actually looked into how the motion warping works from a programming side, but the motion warping might be screwing with the root. Try changing the values in the notify, maybe. Yeah, that sounds very, very possible. Skew warp. Might want to try scale on some of these, but max speed, clamp ratio, warp translation, ignore z-axis, warp to feet location, warp rotation, max speed clamp should be what you're looking for. Let's see what happens. I've not played around with like if this is like just the speed in engine, then those units are usually like a couple hundred. Something crazy. Okay, there's not much root motion for the first attack. It'd probably be more apparent in the second one. I think there is some there. But anyway, I'm just basically trying to show that there's like a way. This actually feels like better already. Like having some root motion. Because like half of good combat isn't actually what's going on underneath the hood for like the character getting moved around and like connecting. Because at the end of the day, all you want is for your attacks to like either hit or not hit. And if they do, then programmatically it's working well. What you want is that for the animation to feel smooth and like your brain kind of fills in the gaps a lot. Like so here, like seeing him do a little hop during that warp like fixes so much in terms of game feel. Like there's going to be a lot of tuning that goes on here, but like already that's starting to feel much better. Anyway, yeah, we're not going to be tuning all that today because that's boring and not really what I want to show off. One of the things that we discussed recently to improve the gameplay here is if we're going for like Souls-like combat inside like the context of a more whimsical Banjo-Kazooie style collectathon game, like how can we make the combat feel unique and sort of play off that in a way that's actually interesting? And my initial thought is stuff like whenever you hit the enemies, you can do like cartoony things like make them like fly off and like just really not obey physics. Could like with this third attack here where he slams down, I can imagine them like flattening for a couple seconds. Doing those kinds of silly things might be a way to like just make the combat more our own. Like the only other really stylized cartoony Souls-like, Souls-light even, that I've seen is like Another Crab's Treasure, which is like a cartoony game about a crab who you can like, I think you'd like change shells. You're like a hermit crab and you can like change shells and they all have different abilities for combat. It's on my wish list. I'll play it eventually. But yeah, there's a lot of unexplored potential in just doing stuff like having enemies deform really wildly and do cartoony things that you wouldn't see in another Souls-like. I really liked your idea about different damage reactions based on different attacks, like slam attacks squashing the enemies, other attacks maybe spinning them. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of animation work because you need to do that for every enemy, but with the right approach using Unreal's tools, I think it might be not so difficult. As long as I constrain the hit reactions to something that's not conceptually difficult to animate, then it shouldn't be a big deal. I'm about to show you, we're going to make a modular rig for this goblin, and we're going to do, I don't know, maybe a squash react or something, and see how that goes. Yeah, let's see what we have for the goblin to start with. Enemy goblin. Mesh. There's a mesh, a skeleton, physics asset. They already come with a control rig, which is pretty cool. But that's not what we're going to be using. We're going to be using a modular rig. Control rigs are like the same thing as modular rigs at a certain point. They allow you to animate in Unreal, but like you're setting up all this logic yourself. And modular rigs can be set up pretty dang fast. Oh, got another follower. Hi, Kresno. Nice to see you here. Sounds kind of like Spyro Reignited. Yeah, I mean, I played that game. My ex had gotten it on PS4, and like I saw her playing for like 5 minutes, and like there's like some part of my brain that's like, it's my turn now. Like I just that's the only time I've like really had like a huge nostalgia trip was with Spyro Reignited. I love that game. What was I doing? I was going to make a modular rig for this guy. We will go to here and we'll search. I think we just search control rig and there'll be an option for modular rig. Yeah. And we'll say MR Goblin. I need to play some of those games for inspiration, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I think Spyro Reignited is on Steam now, if it wasn't, like, to begin with. But the best games, like, if you're looking for the best ones, you need, like, an emulator to actually play through, like, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. A lot of people say Donkey Kong 64 doesn't hold up, and I could understand why you'd say that, because it's a pretty backtrack-heavy game, and there's reasons why people don't like it, but for me, it hits like some pretty big nostalgia spots. And then if you need a modern collectathon, that's Yooka-Laylee, and that's almost 10 years old now. It was like 2017, I think it released. But still, there's just not a lot of collectathons made these days. MR Goblin. You could always just buy a PS1 for like 20. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You could buy a PS1 for $20. Now we need to choose where is the stuff. I believe. I think they switched up some of the stuff for 5.6 here. But we're basically going to choose. Where is it? Preview skeletal mesh. Goblin. Where is this asshole? And you'd think I'd like get better at not having to troubleshoot everything every single time I do something, but I swear this is like the 12th time I've made a modular rig, so is it here? Import, select mesh. I think it might be this. Import, not refresh. Enemy goblin. Why are you not showing the mesh, my friend? This is technically most correct, but I would like to see the mesh as well. Will this fix it? I don't know why that fixed it. It should have been showing. Okay. So what we start with, what we basically do is we're just importing all the base here, and that's the skeleton that was made either in Maya or in Unreal. And then this is all just the baseline stuff that you'd want in any rig, like the root. Well, this is like the master controller, and then the roots are controlled by either one of these offsets, depending on if you're using the spine's FK or IK stuff. But how we go here is we start off by adding, this has a root already, I believe. Yeah, so we'll use a spine module. And these modules are basically exactly what we saw in the normal control rig. And I believe they might work some way in conjunction with control rig if you really wanted. But this is basically the faster and easier way to like set up a rig. Basically, put a spine. I think already there's a ton of controls here. We just have to set those up correctly. Pelvis bone, spine start, spine end. Does it only have 2 spine bones? It should have 3. Yeah, I think we'll go up to... It goes up to 3. You forgot to change the stream title. Okay, friggin', I hate that. I wish it, like, ask me or something. I don't think this doxes me in any way. I forget how to do this. Where the button is. Stream preview. You don't know what he's doing on the phone. What? What I'm doing on the phone has stream chat open. Whatever. I don't really care right now. Figure it out next time. Damn it. Yeah, well, we're the spine bones were not correct on this. It ended at 2. I don't know why it doesn't see that there's one above it. And you can see that the controls have kind of gone to each spine. They're a little small because they don't know how big we want them. What we'll do is let's just start off by putting the control sizes bigger. We don't want that first one was okay. I want to see if I can grab 2 and 3 better. I'll just bring them up for now. This is the kind of thing where I can spend a really long time being like really finicky to get everything perfect. And I usually do that. This is what it ends up looking like with once you take some time. I've been animating completely with the modular rig in Unreal for Sigurd here. Yeah. Dock everything to be easier to access. Now that there's a spine, it like will open up sockets for the legs and the arms, and those as well just have drag and drop functionality that you just put in here. And this, normally it would take like a couple days, upwards of a week if you want to have a really complicated rig to do this, even like using a regular control rig. But having everything like just there like this is like such a time saver. And now I'm assuming all his bone orientations are set up semi-decently because he did make a control rig for it. But that's one of your main concerns if you're making one yourself, is you want to make sure the bone orientations are right, because dragging these controls in will result in like automatically the rotation for these axes here will be aligned however whoever uploaded this aligned it, because this is a marketplace asset, this goblin. I didn't make it. But yeah, they seem relatively decent. I just need to change the sizes for what's appropriate for us. We'll put it to 2.5, 3, 3.4 for right now. Rigging this many controls looks like witchcraft, not gonna lie. It's honestly like, this is barely rigged. This is like basically an auto rigger. If you're doing it yourself, you'd be doing it. I can show later like the most basic form of a control rig, but for now I kind of just want to get to animating something. I don't know if this has enough bones to really make a neck worthwhile, but I'm still gonna use it just to follow the same typography of everything. Sort of the same steps. Let's go to our neck here. Yeah, I'll have to think about how the best way to present this is, because how you want to like make the shapes of the control rig. Well, just any rig, really. You want to make it as readable as possible, and for whoever's animating it, you want to make it so that like they can actually like figure out what's going on. Let's go to the hand here, and right now I'm just uniformly scaling everything, which is not something I'd do if I were taking my time more. Like go in and alter the size of each control manually. It's just don't have infinite time for that. I believe there's an offset too that you can apply. Oops, what's going on there? Yeah, let's test it out, see what's happening now. These are forward controls, but everything else is rigged like an IK, so every like arm is going to move independently. Did I put legs? No, I did not put legs yet. But I believe this is the body control. I need to put legs. It's going to work how I want to demonstrate. Legs. I might not need foot ones. Why is this not working? Spine. Should be able to just drag and drop it. Show me these. Module, there's a thigh socket here. Should be able to put it on there. Okay, there we go, that worked. I don't know why it's like grayed out in this window right now, but this is a relatively new feature. I say relatively, it's been out for a couple of years, but it can sometimes be super jank until like there's like 10 years of development behind it. But yeah, now this should work now because these are IK feet. But when I hold this down, the feet and the arms are gonna try to stay where the boxes are, whereas the rest of the body will move around. This should work. Now potentially we could animate this. Like this is super simple, but should be enough to demonstrate something. We'll go to our animation studio. Save that. Let's hide these nerds. Bring out our modular rig for the goblin. All right, a little late for stream, but I'm here to boost. Goblin go burr. Well, thank you, Beat. Staying in the stream longer does help out. I need to have a certain amount of consistent viewers before I get affiliated, and every view helps. What was I? MR goblins. Put them in the center, and then if you drag something from the content browser into the scene while a sequencer is open, it's going to automatically add it to the track. Now, we can already like start to animate from this. Like we'll put a keyframe here, put a keyframe up here, and then back down here we'll put the first keyframe back, and then you'll see that it goes and follows the keyframes already. And we can bake it out to a linked sequence or an animation sequence like we did earlier with the attack and everything. What I'm going to do right now, like what we're going to do is basically see if we can do a basic squish type thing. Like we were going to do something, this method won't work, where I just scale down the root. I might have to rethink exactly how it goes, but the idea will be that he'll be completely flat. And I might have to look up Unreal deformers. And deformers are something that you're not really animating the bones, you're animating the mesh. And up until recently, that was not something that we could really do at real time. But with 5.4, I think, deformers have been added by default. So you can have like lattices, so like a point grid that you then scale all the points down, and then the mesh would scale in accordance with it. There's a lot of 3D programs that will do that kind of thing, but we can potentially do that in real time. But let's show another cool functionality of control rigs and modular rigs. Let's see our idle. I'm going to mute the control rig so that the control rig isn't influencing the mesh at all. But here is just the mesh with an animation that has already been done. It's in the asset pack. This is the Goblin idle. Now, one thing control rigs and modular rigs can do, for control rigs you have to set it up, but for modular rigs, it's mostly out of the box. But you can bake to control rigs. And if we're lucky, this will work relatively decently. And then we have to unmute it, and then yeah, you can see there's some jankiness. I don't think it was that snappy. Like it didn't just like snap here. I think there's a bit of more smoothing, but you can see for the most part, we now have keyframes that we can just totally. If I were smarter, I would have chose the settings that allow me to have less useless keyframes. Like we don't need this many. But let's say I want this arm to like he did a scratch right here. Let's say we want him to like really extend it over a lot more than before. A really easy way to do that is just add an additive track, and this will be like played over top of it. Like if you've done any animation in any program, like additive tracks are like super common. What we'll do is we'll put a keyframe at the start of when we want the action here. We want this here, and we want to go back to normal here. But at this point, we can just... it's a bit hard for CA with all these bone garbages here. Let's turn that off. Let's turn these bones off. Freaking hell. Here. The lighting's a bit bright. It's not much better. He's just a really bright boy. And then here at the middle of this action, am I not selecting the correct control? Why is the control showing in the middle here? What am I doing wrong? I think I might have set up the hand wrong. Because this is like controlling not the hand. That's not the hand. Like this is controlling the body. What am I doing wrong? Let me check the modular rig real quick. It's working here. I feel like there's a bug. Let me check quick. I'll open up the old map and then come back. Sometimes there's weird stuff in the animation editor. And that feels like one of them. Like, if the modular rig is working, then I imagine it should work in sequencer. And this should be off. I don't know why you turned back on. Open up the take again. Go over here. Grab this. Okay, yeah, now it's working. Don't know why it wasn't working before. But let's say he's now scratching his head. I need to do a lot more polishing to make that look good, but you can see the principle is like I just added a modular track, and now his animation is going to be like in a different place. And oftentimes I'll do that for... more often than not, it's usually attack animations. For example, I don't know if it's the case for these guys, but very often in Unreal, if you get animations from the marketplace, these are people who are like, you know, a single guy who's like a modeler and knows a little bit about animation. And oftentimes, like, these attacks, they're pretty like limp-wristed. Like, this is okay. This has some decent follow-through. You can see, like, the ear kind of jiggle after he hits the ground. That suggests that this person, like, understands animation principles. But oftentimes, an attack might just be like, yeah, and it's, like, really weak. And in which case, you want to, like, pull the arm back and then add more follow-through. Just add a lot more oomph to it. In which case, that method I showed where you bake the animation onto the rig and then just apply an additive track is the way that you can really easily improve an animation to your standards. I don't really want to look up how to do deformers right now, but I'm gonna look through which animations we have available, because I don't even think we have them all implemented. This is really annoying me. We shouldn't be seeing the bones. Some settings are being overridden. So that's a really weak hit, honestly. That's probably something I'm gonna just improve like right now, because that's not gonna be good enough to showcase like being hit. Yeah, you barely see it in game because there's also gonna be some blending towards this. So if like this only lasts 15 frames, usually blending is like 0.1, so that could be like, you know, like 3 frames to blend to it, and then 3 frames to blend out. You're only gonna see this. Like, you're only gonna see... That's nothing. So yeah, I think that one, even with this pretty limited rig we made, is probably gonna be the most viable way that we can see some decent improvement in the animations for the enemies. So what I'll do is I'll just bake the hit react on. Like, I might retime it. That's also another thing I often do for animations I get on the marketplace is once it's baked down, I'll just like stretch or squash the frames so that like maybe their attack is like really weak, which one way to fix a really weak attack is to just make it happen like faster, and then that feels like it has more impact. So sometimes that's what I do to improve things. Gotta right click on the MR_goblin for that. And I'm gonna reduce keys this time because there was one on everyone. And then I need to mute this, right? No. I screwed up. Okay, yeah, I need to mute this first. And I'm gonna lose some of the detail because I don't have any controls set up for, say, the ears or anything. Or maybe even the mouth. So this isn't the best example. Like, normally you'd want to do a bit more on the modular rig. Unmute this. But yeah, you can see the arms and all that. And honestly, we're going to be like... This is such a simple animation that we're going to be overwriting a lot of it anyway. Let's see. This one has nothing on it because there was nothing set up in the modular rig in order to track it. But for like halfway here, we're just gonna go like real crazy compared to the other one. Like, way up here. This mesh actually deforms really well. Like even something like this, like so long. Yeah, the timing's not amazing for this, but like even this, let's go like this and. Create. Actually, no. We'll save the. We won't override it because we want to save the base one, but we'll duplicate it and say hit 0, 1. And this is the one we'll override. Copy the name. Create linked animation. I presume it's in the animations folder. And then we'll replace the one in the montage for that. Hit 0, 1. It'll hit 0, 1. Like, I just want to I just want to show off the difference. Like, we were hitting goblins before, we basically couldn't see it. And hopefully, presumably this should work in this map too. Okay, I guess I have to search specifically for goblin. And this should work, like out of the box. So you can see it a bit more. There's still like a lot of blending. Like if we go to the animation blueprint for this, I'm sure if we just like, is it in the animation blueprint, or it might be in the actual blueprint for the goblin? It's been a while since I looked at things. Or the enemy. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Take damage, increase value, play animation montage, animation hit montage. And that is... where is this defined? Cast... I was sure we parameterized this. Oh no. Yeah, okay, it is playing. Yeah, that's not amazing. Like, we need to parameterize that so that that we can play different montages based on the hit, but for now it should be fine. What we do actually to decrease the blending time here is we actually do it in the montage itself. And we can see that blend in is 0.25. That's a crazy long time. Let's go 0.05 actually. And blend out is 0.05 as well. And we'll see. This should already present like slightly better. Yeah, you can see a lot. You'll see it a lot more now. But yeah, let's now continue to improve this. Let's hide Sigurd and all these nerds. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do this, and I want his mouth to be open. I presume. I guess I'll need another control for that, maybe. Because I think the head doesn't... The jaw is a bone that comes off the head, I presume. Which we'll add right now. I have it open. What we can do is add a socket onto the whatever's controlling the jaw. I presume there's a jaw. Now we do actually want the bone showing again, so that I can visualize that. Yeah, this is this one. And we'll add a socket to that. And in that socket, we can just add control to it. And it should be relatively straightforward. I'd probably, in an ideal world, want the jaw control to be, like, out here. But I kind of want to make progress to show you guys what's going on, so I won't fiddle with this too much. Sometimes the track here doesn't update with the thing immediately. Yeah, it's not showing it in the track, but I can still access it, it seems. Now, why is it doing this? That is not exactly ideal. Maybe it needs one at the start, one at the end. Let me think. What's going on here? It looks like there's some recursion going on for some reason. Usually when you see stuff like I'm not moving it very much at all, but you can see it kind of circling around. There's some other control that's influencing it. That's then like having like a recursive apply a translation. Now apply another translation, and that's why it's kind of screwing up. Let me see if that happens here. Jaw. I think the hierarchy's it seems to work here. Let's see if it breaks once I do this. Yeah, I can already see there's like a little bit of recursion happening. There's like extra rotation happening. It's because it's probably not like this should be moving along with the head. There's probably a hierarchy here. Yeah, I think the control just got put somewhere random rather than underneath. This should be underneath the head control, I believe. How would I do that? I think, oh, it's because I have to add the parent here. This is it. This is what the issue is. Head. We'll put it under the head control. And now let's see if that does that. The axes are not the same here. I don't think. Doesn't look like it. I think it's following semi-correctly. It's just getting... What are you doing, bud? I don't think it actually worked. Oh, that's a head-eye control. I think I chose the wrong one. It's still not showing up there, though. This is not anything but live debugging, which is not very fun to watch. But this is honestly what 90% of game dev is figuring out why the thing that you've done a dozen times before isn't working this exact time. I'm just going to... I know there's a way to do this. I'm gonna just delete it, do it again. I have to delete this. I have a socket here for the jaw, and we're gonna add control to it. And then we want the parent control to be controlled by that next space. I was still working on the enemy BP, so nodes are all over the place, but I don't know why the hit montage didn't use a param. I think I was just trying to get it working quickly. No, it's totally fine. I was just confused for a second. I don't know why this guy isn't getting reparented. I need to recompile because the hierarchy's not showing up. Jaw. This should not be like this. Ideally. Parent control. Why is this not doing it though? Like it's not actually letting me parent something. Oh, for you too. Nothing is more permanent than a temporary solution, huh? Yes. Unless you're, like, very cognizant of what you're doing. Like, we try not to, like, build a whole bunch of nodes to make temporary stuff. But, like, if it's, like, something like that where it's like, oh, we'll parameterize it later, that's not typically all that bad. Let's figure out why the fuck this asshole is not being parented correctly. I've done this like enough times. I've done it on Sigurd's hat. Let's look at Sigurd's hat. Why his is working? To be honest, I did take like an hour to get Sigurd's hat working the first time because it's not like super clear. Did I just manually make this? I just added a control. Pot. Head. I don't think I used the same procedure for this. And maybe Unreal's module system isn't super great for what I'm trying to do. Maybe what I do is just manually create a control here. Jaw. New element, new control. and I put it under here. Does it show up down here? And then this control should be in the same place, but it's not controlling anything currently. And then what I did was add a I guess that kind of works. So what I think I do is add a socket on that, and then add the control there. And it's kind of a workaround, I believe. What are you doing, bud? New socket. And the parent control should be the jaw. I don't know why this is not moving. Oh, I know why it's not moving. It's because it's beneath the jawbone. And the thing it's controlling, it's trying to control the jawbone, so it's just like being set by that. I should probably put this to the head. It's why I've been working on a different branch, since I can track my own changes and make sure everything is clean / implemented properly before merging. Yeah, that's typically good when you're in a bigger team, but I honestly, when it's small enough, I don't really care all that much. Like, people can make their... That... Parent control is that. So why can I move this? And then it moves that? Doesn't make any sense. It's like inverted. Why are you doing this? But add primary control, new socket. You know what? I don't want to really like waste you guys' time doing this for like an hour, because it can take that long to figure out why something basic like a control isn't working. I should have looked, did a test run for this before stream, because it can be, you can get brain farts like when you're trying to do something when you're on stream. Animation Studio, not this one. I'm just gonna do what we can for the hurt animation, and then we'll do the other polishing off stream, similar to the blocking out for the pot stuff we did. I mean, I say this is a deform, but it's like not real. Oh crap! This didn't save. We crashed when we were in the middle of the other thing. Fuck. Can we... No, that wouldn't work. We'll have to redo it. But we only did like 3 keyframes, it's fine. Hit. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna have to look into using deformer graphs, and that's what they're called in Unreal, but they're just basically lattices to be able to deform them in a much more... like independent of bones and more of a global space, so that will be what allows us to like squash them down and then bring them back. And those kinds of things, because they operate like on the mesh space, they can't really be baked. You usually have to do them in real time, so you usually have to add like a component to the mesh that allows you to do that. But in theory, it should not be too difficult. Mute this so that we see the hit, and then we'll bake it on. Then we'll unmute this, and we'll do what we did before, and we'll be a bit more diligent in saving this time. Down to the... Oh, we should reduce the keys, because otherwise it's really hard to work when there's like a billion keys annoying you. Reduce keys. And that basically only records the keys if there's enough enough of a change between them. So like from this frame to this frame, the hand, for example, moves a little bit, so it actually records it down. But if it were to stay mostly still, it would not record the key. Head. Okay. Here, halfway mark. Do what we did before. Big one. We're trying to account for a bit of the blending. So we can actually do like pretty extreme motions because like it's already starting to blend back by this point. So if your brain isn't perfect at like interpreting this kind of stuff, I showed it last stream, but like for the jump animation, Sigurd like was extremely distorted, but it's only for like a frame or two. So like something like this, like the timing's really not great for this. It should probably like immediately come up to here. That's better. That's slightly better. And you want the hips to come back. Almost every motion that you do when you're animating is going to like originate from the hips. Like the hips move first usually. And even this, let's do something stupid like scale it a tiny bit. Kind of want to do something crazy like have the spine and all that should be rotated as well in conjunction with this, and I'll use the additive keys for that. Save. Use an additive. Because the thing is, if you use another track to do additive stuff, I don't have to like start micromanaging the keys that are already there. Why not edit the blend on the hit montage? That will be done as well, but it's all like a combination of all those factors. You want to get the blending right, and you want to get the initial frames right, and sometimes you don't want to handle it completely through the blending on the montage because like the what it's being blended to by the end is not like as extreme of a pose you need. And sometimes you want to use the blending to ease out of a pose. It's all just like contextual. You got, and I mean, not only do you change the blend time, but you can change the curve to what it blends to. Most curves are just linear, where it's just like by the start of the blend, you're completely one animation, and then by the end of the blend, you're completely the other. And then like it's a linear curve that when you're 50% of the way there, you're 50% of the way blended in. And sometimes you want like an exponential curve so that it blends in really fast to your second pose. But it all depends for what you're going for. For this, it looked reasonably fine. Like, we'll just see what it looks like. Hit. Goblin. This is because we crashed, and it no longer has that unsaved animation that was called Hit 01 or whatever. Hit 01. I don't remember what it was called. We'll just call it that and relink it. Goblin hit 01. Hit 01. And then that should be linked up all correctly. Put this guy back in the scene. So see here that blend probably was reset. And we'll need to lower the blend time again. Back to 0.05. And like extreme changes in pose are usually okay for like hit reactions because you expect them to be like immediate. Very cartoony type thing. There's honestly a lot of technical nuance to getting animations right, it sounds like. I mean, technical nuances, you can pretend as if it's like some super deep discipline that requires like lots and lots of learning, but it's really just like trial and error, and you figure it out at what is causing what eventually. Yeah, and I mean there's gonna need to be sounds and all that combined with this, but his arms are gonna be like want to be flailing up, I think. Yeah, that original hit reaction is so weak. It was just basically like it's like you just shoved him a little bit. You want something like immediate. I might just override these. I'll animate on the main track. Already feels a lot better. Well, I mean, your brain does a lot of work to like how something should be. It's like even if this looks a bit weird, like there's some like weird shapes here. Like it happens so fast, and it's like the motion that matters more so than like technically how good the mesh is deforming or whatever. Like I might even start the arms like way up like this. Like I won't even like will allow the very quick blending to immediately put them in that position. That's pretty common, honestly, in a lot of types of games where because you want the actions to feel responsive and like immediate, you don't even have like anticipation frames. Sometimes you jump immediately into like a sword slash, and then they kind of like back end a lot of the information, and then your brain kind of just fills in the gap. It's, oh, these are really fast bullshit going on. That's not a very clean transition down, but we'll fix it after. I think you guys saw the well, if you didn't, it's the Twitch VODs there. The initial animation for the pot stuff. It's like when I'm blocking in animations, I don't really care if they look very good or not. I'm just trying to read whether it'll work well for what we want. And I made this a linked, right? Yeah, if this is not grayed out, then that means I made it linked. So that should be updated. Like, see that? It's like already it's starting to feel a lot more like the kind of hit react we want. But I might even go like one further and like make him like spin off his axis and like land on his face or something. Because that'd be pretty funny. But for now, we're just going to do the basic hit react because this is an improvement on what was there before. We don't need this. We can start him up like that. And I mean, I don't know. Did I set up the legs? I don't think okay, I set up the legs good enough. Can I move him up just a tiny bit? How would that look? Won't know until we try it. There's like a little bounce in his ears as he comes back down. And I wonder why that is. I don't think that's in the animation. Oh, it's because I think he's doing like a falling animation at the end there, and that does have, and then like a landing animation, and that no doubt has some information in it. The blends are a bit weird there for the transitioning to the fall and all that, but that's not super important right now. But alrighty, let's go check that out in actual combat and see if that feels slightly better than before, because it was very weak before. Already that's feeling like a lot better. That looks kind of, I like that. Yeah, that's fun. We're gonna have to do something about the deaths too. Like, this is just a holdover from the Unreal tutorial that was followed for like Dark Souls stuff, where when they're killed they just ragdoll. But we're gonna do like some VFX and maybe a dissolve. And there needs to be like some impact hits as well. Yeah, that's decent for what we're doing. Animation studio. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of work in that there's like maybe a list of 7 things we have to do still. But honestly, it's not that much work. And it depends on how granular we want to make the hit react system is going to be probably the biggest amount of work. Like, we could do, depending on what assets I have in the project, we could do a VFX hit real quick. We might even have some VFXs that might work as a... That's not exactly what we want. Neither is that. But we'll go through our VFXs and see if we have something that has like little stars or like a little puff of smoke. Ideally, I want to make some sort of like cartoon stars that get hit, sort of like a Looney Tunes thing. Sort by Niagara. I feel like it should be more of a pop instead of a fiery explosion. Well, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be like a... Well, we'll see if there's an example in the project. This without the smoke actually would maybe work. This looks okay, I think. No, that's not exactly it. Basic attack. I might have done some stuff too. But these are mostly just marketplace assets I've added from various cartoony places. I wish I had the previews for them though. That'd make it a lot easier to figure out what's going on. Trails, not trails. There's a lot of trails. I think that first one is probably going to be as good as we're going to get for like a prototyping type thing. This arrow cast here, and we'll duplicate it, and ns underscore. I think I already have something called generic impact because that's what I usually call these, but just call it that as well. Jordan, oh, hello, Mika. I'm not glad you didn't say cock and ball torture. I never said that. You should be saying that all the time. Shit up the stream for me. We are in the middle of... Yes, oh god, Mika's here. Where the frig is the smoke coming from? because that is probably what we'll turn off for now, and then use that as like a default impact hit. Rainbow, glow, 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 lightning strip, spike, flare, impact, star, 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 wind. I don't know. I'll just put this in first, and then we'll figure it out after. We might want to make a more generic system for this, but for now, I'm just gonna play the VFX at the impact location. And I believe we should be able to get that pretty easily. Maybe in the BP, maybe? No. What we'll do, we'll clean this up off stream, but I'll just play system. What's it called again? Attached. Spawn system, not play system. Spawn system attached. We'll call it generic impact. Thank you very much for your contribution, Mika. This is super appreciated, unironically. Once again, I fear for Jordan's life. It's okay. I have my cat over there. She's very protective of me. Can't wait till we get affiliated and we can do like stream rewards and stuff, because I'm gonna definitely have bug my cat as a stream reward. Annoy my cat. We are going to attach this to the mesh, I guess. And this might work out of the box. Let's see. I can barely see anything. Yeah, I saw some shit going on, so it technically is working. But we'll want this to be like, I can barely see it with the lighting on this map. I want this to be like stars and shit that looks like cartoony. You know how it is, like little smoke clouds and little spinny, dizzy birds going around the head and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it much better in this lighting. This kind of works, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to have that effect spawn at the actual impact location, because right now it's just spawning at a default spot on the mesh. I'll clean this all up this week and make sure there's a proper system for hit reacts and such. Well, thank you. That's gonna be good. And I'll eventually get to doing the art for that, for the VFX stuff. Ideally, you'd spawn the hit react from the person spawning, causing the attack on confirmation the damage was actually done. Both ways work depending on how you want it, because sometimes, like, if you're using a system where the instigator is spawning the thing, oftentimes you're doing that because you want to keep, you don't want to just keep spawning a VFX, you want to keep it in the pool. And if multiple things get hit immediately by the same instigation, that system will be like, it'll like jump over to the most recent one hit, and like you just have to account for that kind of thing when you're doing it. But I'd want to do that also because it gives control to customize the VFX based on the attacker. Yeah, I mean, you can do it both ways. I've seen it done both ways legitimately, and I don't think it really matters as long as the data is set up correctly so that you know, what type of VFX do you want to spawn, where do you want it to spawn. You can even send like whatever parameters. I've done it before where like the vector of the hit, like if you hit him from the right, it like went to the Niagara system and this like sent particles flying off in the direction that was like correct. But yeah, what we'll do over the course of the week what do we have to do? We have I think you were supposed to add some variation to these attacks. That's pretty easy to do. That won't take very long. I think there's already 2 in. I want to author at least one that's a bit funnier than these, because it's just like these are pretty boring. We have like hit reacts to do. I'm imagining at least for the showcase there'll be a one where they're like squashed. Like this. Look at this. This already like looks so much better than what we started the day with when you hit them. Like that animation is just it's pulling a lot of weight. Like before it was literally just and yeah. Like I'm saying, a lot of the feel of combat and animations is really just like really small things that you tune a lot of like things like hit reacts, motion warping. I'm going to have to think about exactly how much in depth we want to go with things in terms of hit reacts, because I'm imagining that first hit react is good for like this first attack. Second attack, maybe he like that's a little weak. We might want to make that a bit more impactful. Like he should like be pulling it. That might just be the blending, but he should like pull it way back and swing it like way forward. That would read much better. But yeah, like for that second one, if he like hits him really hard, I could see like the goblin spinning backwards and like falling flat on his face. And for the slam, definitely I want to look into deformers to actually squish the mesh down to like a flat pancake, and that will be super appropriate for what we're trying to do. There's only a damage trace on the goblin's right hand, so attacking with the left doesn't work. Yeah, we have to figure that out. It's basically just using the exact same thing the player is doing, but we can do it it's doing the notify here, I think. Attack montage 01. Like this here, like we'll have a parameter somewhere to be like, does it use the left damage trace or the right damage trace? And that'll be basically how we do it. And for those of you who are here that were not here before and did not get to see, we have the pot block actually working now. If he runs out of stamina, he gets thrown out. And I'm quite happy with this. I'm a bit behind on making a video about that, but I'm thinking of making a larger scale one relating to like animation and animation principles and a lot of the stuff that we've talked about for making combat feel good, because I think that all relates. Like this already, this feels a lot better. Like this is a lot more fun. There's a lot of jank still, but like maybe we could turn off that capsule. Where is the that trace being done? I imagine it's in the third person character, and then motion warp, hit stop. We didn't even look at this. Hit stop timeline. Play from start. I imagine you put this to like point 1. Because Jordan meant to ask you, we were thinking of giving Sigurd a guard counter after blocking with the pot, or were you making it purely defensive? That's a good question. I'm thinking just defensive for now, because guard counters can be like really annoying, because you have to, inside these montages, you have to give like windows where it's like, if you press a button during this time, that's when you guard counter. Then you need to make animations for what happens when the enemy is guard counters. Like, it's not often that's just a generic hit react. It's usually its own thing. But yeah, it's a lot of work for at least the first phase. We might, because I mean, that's a pretty common thing to have guard counters. But we might look into it later. It means we can make some attacks cause more hit stop than others. That's nice. So I haven't looked at this. Damage. Are you sure it's in the third person? Would it not be like in the... 'cause I thought the traces happened somewhere else. BPC combat, sorry. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that's where we did the traces. Target lock. Lock on focus attack. I imagine it's there. Update motion warping. Okay. What was I even looking at the motion warping for? I don't even remember. I was doing something here, just showcase something. And now I've forgotten why actually we were looking for it. Okay, these are all default. Oh yeah, we were looking for the trace, that's it. And where did you set that? Yeah, the spear radius. Is it in one of these nodes? It's a collision object under third person BP. Oh, okay. Yeah. Here we go. That's easy enough. Hidden in game. Yeah. Already, that's so much better than last week, guys. Like between the attack animation, the motion warping, this little hit reaction, it's just a lot, just a lot better. I think we can do like a death now. I forget where we. Just sorry, you're working on either the enemy BP or the goblin BP right now, right? Like, do you have any pending changes to push? Because if not, we might just like turn off that ragdolling that happens, and we'll do like a proper thing. Let me look at how this is set up in terms of material. Goblin. So what we'll do for a dissolve, we'll have to do that in the material. Oh sure, you can make your own changes right now. Okay, great. SK. Let's go look at the material. Oh, this is set. Okay, this is super basic. I have my own master shader that I want to eventually migrate everything to. What did I call it? I called it master character, I think. And this here is a lot more complicated than what's going on with that shader. It has like functionalities for a lot of what you'd want. Like we can do like Fresnel and pulsating emissives and grunge and world position offset, subsurface scattering, just basically anything you might need. And then it also has a layer system that allows you to make sort of sub-materials that you can be applied over top of it. And then there's augmentation by material parameter collections, which are like global things. So if we want to globally like augment the character's material, we'd be able to do that. And then there's already a dissolve built in, I forgot. But how would we augment that, Beth? Actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just switch it up to the proper shader, and then we'll be able to do a depth dissolve pretty easily. The master, we'll have to create one. Create a material instance. mi underscore goblin. Goblin. I'll move it over to our goblin here. Put it in materials. What we'll do is change this to the, I presume they're named Goblin. That looked correct. Apparently there's a purple goblin too, it looked like. I mean, the thing is like, this guy's gone through the trouble of making a whole other color of goblin, where I'll show you after. We would probably be able to do most of that ourselves with the shader. This might not look exactly the same, because the way he set it up, I think he doesn't have the channels packed. He just looks like he has a single roughness one. And I think I do have that functionality built into the shader to accompany that. But I'll have to check. Okay, so let's look at our goblin SK. Where's the skeletal mesh? Yeah, here he is. And I'm selecting him in the content browser. I'll bring him over here. You can see it's a bit different. And I think it's because there's an emissive or something on this guy. Let's see. Lit wireframe. Unlit. I didn't say wireframe. I said unlit. Yeah, see, there's like some emissive going on. And I think that's why it looks different. Like this here looks different than this guy. So we need to add an emissive. And I believe it had an emissive mask. Goblin. I presume it's this. And I have the ability to change this color a bit. Should be good. Let's light it. And it still looks a bit different. I'll have to look into exactly why that is. I think it's because this is sending maybe roughness and metallic information when it shouldn't. Can we give one of them a hood and a knife in honor of the great stealth game? Asking for a friend. Maybe. I mean, if we have the assets, but it's kind of difficult to just put a hood on something like this. Because you have to make like holes for the arms and everything, and then give it probably like a physics material, and it just becomes a big bitch to deal with. But what I was saying before is like I've built in like a color hue shift type of thing that you can screw around with. You can screw around with a lot of different parameters with my very comprehensive material. But why we changed it is because we want to turn the dissolve on. It's already on by default. And I believe all I have to do is this. I think we can change the dissolve color, something different. Might change the mask too to fit, because my dissolve is pretty generic for like a different style of game. We might want to change the alpha here for this dissolve to like be something more stylized. But basically all we got to do is on the death now is play a timeline where this parameter goes from 0 to 1. We might have to make it a material instance like at the start of the game, because if it's just applying to this material in general, it would affect like all goblins whenever we played the timeline. But if we make it a material instance and only affect that, then it should be fine. And I'll tune the way he looks so that he looks like before off stream. Or I mean, that looks pretty much really pretty similar in this lighting. I actually like it a little bit more. It's a bit more matte and flat. And I think that fits pretty well because Sigurd's pretty flat as well. So on death, we are going to change his timeline. I believe over somewhere here, we start doing stupid stuff. And health widget talker. Okay, good, great. Well, wonderful. Everything's great here. And then we'll play a timeline. Timeline. What I'll do first... no. What I'll do first is I won't make it a material instance, so you can see what happens if you just apply the change to the material instance in general. Like, what am I doing? Dissolve timeline. Typing is hard. And then we're gonna make it a float parameter over the course of a second, I guess. Add a key here, 0, 0, and then at 1 it goes to 1. That should be good enough for what we're doing. And then on update, we should name it something rather than new track _0. Dissolve. And what we want to do is get the mesh, and then I think set float value, set float parameter, and no, this is for audio. I'm gonna look for the one related to material. Text, landscape, Niagara rendering. I think it's this one. Material collection instance. Material instance dynamic. Okay, sure. And now this won't work because I don't... Why isn't this working actually? What is it looking for? It's looking for set... Oh, okay. I think you have to get material from this first. Get material from mesh. And then I think there's only one index here. Yeah, there's only one index. If there were multiple indexes, you'd choose where it is. Like if it was 2 in line, you'd choose 1. If it were 3 in line, you'd choose 2. And it's basically a base 0 index system. And that's still not working. Haha. Set scalar parameter. I'm missing something. Forgetting something. This is the general workflow. It's just the specificity of what actual nodes I'm supposed to choose. Set scalar parameter by index. Is that it? What am I doing? Well, I'm gonna do what I know will probably work. Begin play. Okay, we already have begin play. What we'll do is create dynamic material instance. This is a primitive component, and this, I think it's this one. And we're gonna get the material that's being used here. This should work. And then we're going to assign that my dynamic material here. Set material for mesh at index 1, and then this should work. And now how do I access that again? Because it's a dynamic material, I think when we just access it the same way now, because it's already been set at the event begin play, set scalar parameter. Set scalar parameter value. I know there's one of them that works. Okay. Search. Material interface object reference. Material instance. What? What? We'll just store it here. It'll be faster and smarter. Material instance. I know that'll work. If I could spell correctly. Material instance. Dynamic. Object reference. And we will set this as well to this value. And we'll just access it there. Get material instance. And then this will work. Watching you look through the blueprints fills me with terror since half the stuff I'm working on is still half finished or not refactored. It's fine. Like, it's... Like, honestly... This can be, like, shunted off somewhere. And it's really not a... Won't be a... This isn't a system. This is just a little, like, little bells and whistles end thing that you put on at the... Like, whatever is happening anywhere else in the blueprint, you can just be like... Wherever the old end is, just be like, okay, there you go. I probably want to play from start. Dissolve. With a capital D. I think it's case sensitive. Dissolve. And dissolve param. And if we know how to do anything whatsoever, that should work, I think. When he dies. And we don't know how to do anything whatsoever, apparently. What is the failure point here? This sets the material instance on the mesh to that. This is being run, right? Should see 2 hellos pop up in the top left corner. Right. So that does get to that point. Set material for the mesh in element in index 1. Maybe that has something to do with it. Goblin. BP. What do we call it? BP underscore goblin. Character mesh 0. This should, unless something might be being overridden, this should just get whatever's in the mesh there and do it. It has this. Let's print out what this actually says and print out at the end what's happening here. What is this one called? If it's called the same thing, it should be working. Okay. It was mid underscore a bunch of stuff. That didn't show anything. So I think maybe that is not being set correctly. Like that here. Seems like the timeline isn't being played. Oh wait. It might be that. Let's see if it actually gets to here. Because it might not. It might do something here, like might turn off something weird. Let's see if we see the hello when we kill someone. No, we're not seeing the hello. So it might be that there's a order of operations thing going wrong here. Oh, I know what it is. This is a bit of logic that I did to basically have a system of events where enemies, as they die, a different blueprint is checking to see if those enemies like are part of the event. And if they like you kill all the enemies in the event, it will trigger its own thing. It's like, oh, maybe it'll play a cutscene or whatever. And that doesn't exist in the level right now. Like that will so when it tries to get whatever the spawner reference is, it's saying is not valid, it's not going anywhere. So I'm just gonna like take that off for the moment, and this should work. And like I shouldn't be doing it this way anyway. It should be checking to say like, do we even like care about spawner references for this one? But yeah, that's almost certainly what's causing this weird bit of behavior. Did I see a hello there? I'm not seeing a hello. But I'm gonna just go way before the die. Or maybe before you let's see the hello. Or the get display name for this. We can actually do a validated get to see if this is actually even set right. Convert to validated get, and then we will say if it's not valid, we'll print a string that says not valid. If it is valid, we'll print a string that says what it is. One, two, three. Boom. Okay, yeah, there's one there. It seems like it's valid. I don't get it. So if it is valid, play this from start. Okay. Dissolve the value. The value is going from 0 to 1. That should be it. I don't know why it's not it. These are using the right material. Everything else should be executing. The track is 5 seconds long, by the way. Yeah, the track shouldn't matter. Like as long as it goes to 1 here, we should be seeing it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print out the value of the thing every frame. Where the hell is it? This goblin. I have too many things open here. Yeah, we are debugging things together, and this is honestly how development is 90% of the time. So if this looks exciting to you, then that's what game dev is. So on update, I'm just gonna print string. If I see a fuck ton of hellos, then it's getting there. Dun, 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 dun. We need more music for this stream. Okay, so it's playing it. That means that it's not updating the parameter correctly. It seemed like it was the right material instance. I'm just double checking my spelling, because if that would be what's causing it, I'd be like so pissed at myself. It should be from 0 to 1. You should see it. Dissolve color. I might just try a different parameter and see if that's somehow related. Subscalar parameter value. Maybe this is the wrong node. It should be. It's everything's connecting, right? So I don't know why it wouldn't be. Dissolve parameter value. This should be on the right, the correct one. Let's see. Do we have things set up so that way I can kill a normal enemy? Okay, it's not working on him either, so it's not. It's probably not a mesh-related thing. Dissolve parameter. It goes from 0 to 1. It goes from 0 to 1. It looks like everything is like... Yeah, it goes up to 1. So why are you not... This is setting the right target. Spelled correctly. That goes 0 to 1. Are you sure the param name is the exact same? That's copy. I don't think I'm retarded enough to misspell. Okay, it doesn't copy it correctly. I don't think that I was like 90% sure. Oh, wait. I think maybe there's like a prefix involved here. Let me check the character shader. I think I might have an example. Or no, it wouldn't be in the character shader. Is there any way else that I modify things? I assume there's a prefix that the editor is just hiding. Because it's... If you want to set a user parameter for like a Niagara system, it's like user.dissolve, but it might be something else. Set parameter material instance Unreal. Setting in blueprints. Use parameter to promote the setting parameter for scalar parameters. Set scalar parameter value. Enter exact parameter name, case sensitive as defined. Connect. That doesn't seem like there's a difference. Set material now. We've already confirmed the timeline is playing. I have to ensure the dynamic is like pretty sure this is working too. You must precisely match the parameter name in your base material. Static material instance asset in the content browser or for design time. Yeah, that's being done. So I'm not sure exactly why this node ain't working. What's the material called? I want to see if I can troubleshoot too. The material, well, you'd have to first create an instance of the character master material. I guess you don't really need to have all these parameters set up, right? You just need to have the dissolve is checked on by default. So you just have to like move dissolve from 0 to 1. And like, let me just put this guy a weird color to debug. So, something really simple is wrong. And I'm probably super fucking retarded. I thought I changed it, but I don't think I did. I'm retarded. I was using the old material here. This, I think it was working the entire time. This is gonna be so embarrassing. Yeah. That was what, 10, 15 minutes? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of funny. That's unfortunate. I don't know if you can clip stuff, but I mean, that'd make a good clip. Yeah, that is game dev for you. Oh my god. They were not using the right materials here. Because what I did here is I'm using a preview of the correct mesh, but this is just the material asset. And I never changed the real asset for the skeletal mesh to use this new material asset, so this was totally working for like a very long time, and we're just like fucking not even connected to the, because what on begin play it just creates another child instance of what's already there. Like it gets the material, and because it was the old material, it just creates a dynamic material instance of that. So yeah, that's funny. It means I'm not completely retarded. It just means that I'm somewhat retarded. And we can put this at the end once this is finished. I can clean it up off stream. I definitely will do that. I won't just say I'll do that and then forget I'll do that. And same thing with the... I was all like, oh, I kind of like the new material the way it is. And I was just looking at the old one. So yeah, these guys need a little bit of adjustment, but in theory... I'll definitely want a death VFX to play, where it's like a bigger, maybe like puff of smoke or something, and different animation as well. Do they have a death animation? I have ones for like somewhat similar proportion guys that I could maybe retarget to them. At least I figured it out, yeah. I mean, this is honestly, that was kind of fast in terms of some of the equivalent debugging I do. Like often it can take like half an hour, 2 hours. And yeah, that was a pretty stupid one, but pretty fun one, honestly. What was I gonna do? I'm gonna maybe show off retargeting now. We'll check to see what the death animation Desera is mentioning. Fall, idle, jump in, jump out. Oh, it's just called lose. Who calls their death lose? Maybe let's make it like kid friendly or something. Yeah, that's kind of meek. Like it's a decent animation. You can see the tongue kind of lulls as a follow through, which is really good. But like it's not for what we want to do. Like we're gonna want him to like fly back a little bit, and we might do either that might be physics based, that we like send an impulse that like shoots him back a bit, but we'll just use this for now. BP enemy. I don't think we're gonna want these nodes, but I'll keep them here just for now. And I'll move this stuff over to make room for a play montage. This is in the enemy. And eventually this will also need to be parameterized, because right now I'm just going to just straight up play the goblin animation. Montage. What's the actual node called? I don't want to look at... I don't want to do work. I just want to copy paste. I know we have some here somewhere for the hurt. I don't want to use my brain. Play montage, that's what it is. And we'll put it here. What we're going to do is we are going to just straight up play the lose. Why does that not show up? Oh, it's because there's no montage. It's just an animation, right? Yeah, that's it. We need to create a montage. Yeah, that's fine. Typically, this is the one thing I don't really like about Unreal is typically most pipelines and people who are doing the technical coordination on your project are like, oh well, we want the lexicon, the whatever you call it, the way you name things to be like AM underscore or animation montage, but like how Unreal does it is when you create a montage, it just puts underscore montage at the end. So I often just like, oftentimes it'll just be like animation sequence, AS underscore the animation, and then I'll create a montage, and then it'll be like AS underscore and then montage at the end. So I end up having to rename everything, and it's really quite annoying. I prefer they just put like AM underscore at the beginning and like remove, or like have somewhere in the settings that you could set that. That should play now. It might do something weird with the... We need to fix some of this collision stuff, but like... Oh, we can't see it because of the timeline. We'll have to play around with that. Might have to add like a delay to the timeline, but for now I'm just going to turn it off. Oh, did I put the timeline after the validated get again? I feel like this shouldn't be working anymore. Did I delete a node involved here? Oh no, it's because this one. What's this one involved? Oh, this was for debugging. That's why. I thought this node here was this node. That's why I was confused. Yeah, let's take this off for a moment. The dude just falls. The classic hand to the heart into twirl before falling would be fun for a death. Yeah, we'll definitely need that kind of thing as like a 1 in 3 type thing. Yeah, I think the physics are gonna just absolutely break this. I don't think it'll even play the animation like at all. So we're just gonna set. Yeah, we're gonna just completely bypass those for now. Let's see what happens. Bang, bang, bang. Why is that still happening? Or maybe there's something going on here. No, that's just changing stuff for the AI. Set is dead. We are currently in... Maybe I'll check the combat BPC, the component. There's something involving death there. Dodge, blocking, sword trace, attack, set player reference, update motion warping. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe in stats. because that does check the total health. Start stamina cooldown, regain stamina die, and DPI damage. What am I trying to troubleshoot? I'm trying to see why I'm still ragdolling when I die, even though I disconnected the nodes for this. Because it's no longer should be setting a physics body. Interfaces die. Oh, it's probably... No, this is exactly what's supposed to be doing it. It sets a ragdoll on land. Where? What? I don't remember doing that. On landed. Oh. That's a bit weird. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to ragdoll when we land anyway? I mean, we'll just disconnect it for now. I guess that is critical for something. Because now the logic is broken. Where is that? Here. If it's dead... There's some weird stuff going on here. I think maybe we just disconnect. No. Something odd is happening. I think maybe that might force it to do it, what we're wanting to do. Ah, okay, yeah. There we go. Like, I'm still able to do it again because there's some logic we broke, but that looks a lot better even now. Like, it feels a lot better than like that really janky ragdolling that happened. But yeah, that's a start. Like, this is all like, yeah, a couple days of dedicated combat stuff, and we can definitely get it to the point where it feels a lot better than what it currently is. I'm not sure exactly what we'll do next, because there's going to be some troubleshooting here. What we do is, on completed, we probably still do this stuff. It's just we don't want the simulate physics part. Again, I have a lot more plans for working on combat. It'll just take me like, yeah, it's all good. I'm thinking not just like not just like logic stuff, but the art assets to go around with it, to go along with it. Why is it not turning off the logic for the AI controller? Like, it's still rotating the capsule after. I don't really want to spend too much time on that, because that will be a bunch more debugging, but we can all see like the direction that it is going. Like, even from the start of the stream, like, this has a lot more impact when the enemies are hit. You have a lot more movement and control over things, and what I'll do is I'll show what it looked like at the beginning of the stream, just for comparison for people who weren't here, or for people who forgot like how drastically different this is. Wait, I'll quickly revert to the build before this. If this would actually save. And honestly, this is a lot to get done in 2 hours. Like, there's a lot of cleaning up and rethinking to parameterize things and make stuff clean. But yeah, it already looks better than when we started a couple hours ago. Get all these tabs out of here. And we will commit. Yeah, that's great. That's fine. Is there anything here that I really shouldn't push because you are in the middle of it? Maybe the third-person character stuff? Or is that all stuff that you don't mind that I push right now? Goblin take 1, that's for the hit react. I think everything here is stuff that we do want to push. Changes to the map, animation studio. Yeah, we'll push out everything. Work done on stream. I'm currently in main. That's fine by me. If there's something big that would cause a conflict, you can just take yours. You might want to pull main into your branch here. Or no, this isn't yours. This is multi-kills. Into your branch here. The combat polish, and all you have to do is in, let's see, I don't know exactly on GitHub desktop how you do that again. Right click, no. Yeah, I know how to merge. No, yeah, okay, well, just merge the main into your combat polish branch and it should be all good. I forgot to, I was gonna revert and see what it looks like before we did this. So work done on stream. So let's revert to before. Actually, let's revert to before we even got like the polish or anything. From the attacks and whatnot. So before combat polish, reset current branch to that commit. And get rid of all this garbage that we changed in the meantime. It's tracking all the current changes. And this is how it started basically at the beginning of the day. This is not just the stuff I did on stream, but this is also Desira's work in the blueprints side of things, as well as multi-kills animation on the combo attack. Let's see. Here, our attack doesn't have any root motion. We don't have any motion warping. These guys are just falling over like little idiots. Looks really bad. There's no dissolve, and there's no proper death animation. There's no proper hit reaction. Like, you can't even see. There's technically a hit reaction animation playing right now, I think. Maybe not on this build. I think in the combat polish one there is, though. But it's barely visible. It's because the animation is just so meek. But there's still a ton that we can do. Like, for the swings, we can have, like, VFX trails attached to the cane, so that there's a little bit of a trail that follows it. I think also hit stops were added in the combat polish. But what we have left to do, not including the polishing of the stuff we added in, because the stuff we added in, it was just mostly to demonstrate the principle, and it's not like the final implementation. But stuff that we haven't touched on is things like as I mentioned, the trails for the swing, a variety of hit reactions, a death VFX, because we have impact VFX, but we want a death one as well. A variety of attacks for the enemies to make, and that has a lot of underpinning in system stuff. where we have to like figure out which trace to use on which arm based on which attack, and we don't have that in yet. Anything else I'm missing? I think yeah, VFX for enemies as well. I think I want to do like one or two unique attacks for the goblins. I don't even know if we have a way to distinguish like if an attack has a various like damage value or different properties associated with it. I think it's just generic like are you being attacked? If so, take 10 damage, and like we need to. I don't think we need to expand that for the showcase. Like that's not super important, but eventually that does need to happen. You created a dynamic. Okay, great. That's perfect. I'm glad. Because yeah, my initial implementation did not go that much in depth. Anything else I'm missing? I think I talked in the Discord about what we could do for other stuff, but that's the gist of it. Is there anything you guys think I could maybe attend to before the stream's done? We got like 40 minutes to do something interesting. We could do like an animation. We can do maybe some VFX stuff. I haven't done any VFX stuff on stream, but the main thing with that is that I sometimes don't have the 2D assets to make the sprites, and it ends up not being great for stream. Like if it's like modifying Niagara modules, that's totally fine. I can do that on stream, but yeah, like actually drawing out the sprites and stuff is not often something I have. That'll take a lot longer than what we have left in stream time. Let's go back to our most recent. There's also a lot of tuning that needs to get done, but that's off-stream stuff. It's just a bunch of like sliding numbers here and there for like the materials, for the motion warping, for all the art assets. Like, let me go through a run. I don't think I ever showed this on screen, but what the intent. Oh, I could fix this. This bug happened when I changed everything to Niagara. It should be a relatively easy fix, but I'll show you first the run through of the showcase. The idea is that you start over here, and you see your collectible, the drop near, encased in this, and you have to go through the tower there and end up in a combat puzzle up there. And once you complete the combat puzzle, basically the platform falls and then breaks the ice open, and you get your drop near. But yeah, there's a lot of tuning I still have to do for this actual like run through to make it not only more interesting, but a lot of the environment artwork that was done by my friend Alex. Just ignore my placeholder Sigurd that I used for recording earlier. A lot of the work over there that was done by Alex is like completely not visible as we're actually running through the level. Not just because like we're on the interior for the majority of it, but also just because whenever we are outside, there's like stuff blocking the view, and I definitely want to change that, because right now it's like, okay, we can kind of see over there, but if I just reorient things a little bit, I feel like we'll be able to solve that relatively easily. But yeah, just making everything nicer and like more polished is definitely a requirement for the level design stuff. And that's a whole stream in of itself. And I need to add something down there that catches you, and then you can walk back up instead of having to cheat to get back over here. A lot of tuning stuff. You guys probably hear what is the main loop going on in the background. That's just something that's playing in my media player, but this should play the other track. Let's close that. I actually really like this track. Yeah, we've got the bones of something here. I think the weakest point is probably the level design right now. Not only does it like not it's not evocative at all. I need to like add nicer traps that Jari is working on, and just a bunch of little things. But the combat and the level are the main things to improve at this point. I like where Sigurd's animations are. Like for the goblin, one attack we could think about is a split attack, just to showcase another way the cauldron could be useful. Plus, a ranged attack is always fun. I mean, maybe for the ranged attack. The thing is we like there's also there's like a ton of other potential enemies in the project, and I have the feeling it'll only take like 10 minutes to implement them in terms of like just the most basic functionalities, because the way things are set up, we just duplicate the enemy blueprint and then just change out the parameters involved. Let me see. Why do I always forget where it's in different places in different windows? That's why. Lit. But I imagine stuff like having like a golem mixed in or something that would be not so difficult to do. And even if the goblins are the really basic enemies that don't I'll probably want him like much bigger. Maybe not that big, but something much bigger. And the goblins could be like super generic. They'll only swing like they'll have 3 attacks, but they're all just like swinging their arms. But like something like this, I could have something more interesting, like a ranged attack or whatnot. Like this is like I'm just thinking right now, it'd be really funny if we had like if 2 goblins were within range of each other, maybe one of them uses the other as like a weapon, or maybe they like leapfrog and use each other as a springboard. And that's a lot of work to do, but that'd be pretty fun if the goblins had like combo attacks. I wouldn't want to do that until we had a final goblin mesh though, because these are just marketplace assets. Like I imagine the final implementation of a goblin, like we'd have to design it in mind with this current design. Like he'd have to be like a ball with this, but like having team up montages are always like just very finicky and precise. I don't even know how I'd approach a system for something like that. Yeah, it's kind of difficult, but there are like tutorials and stuff online. It's a common enough thing. You basically have to like sync up where they are in terms of their position really well, and that's the majority of it. And then you just have them play their animations. But yeah, not for the showcase. That's definitely not coming in for the showcase. I think like if we can get like the hit reacts of them like flying around and like getting squashed and all that, we can end up putting like 5 goblins in at a time or something. And in that case, we can create like a chaotic situation where like Sigurd is just like going through combat, like making them fly around and squashing them and stuff. And like the main combat loop is like sort of controlling the flow of combat by like stunning the enemies by effectively like flattening them and throwing them way back. And that allows us to achieve some combat depth while like really showcasing what we're going for in terms of like whimsy and fun and silliness and Looney Tunes and cartoony garbage. Yeah, I don't think there's much more I had planned for this. We got a lot done, a lot more done than I thought we'd get done. I thought this would take a lot longer to get all these kinds of things going, but I think everything's like polish related now at this point. Um, yeah, a lot of it is Desura's work to implement some motion warping stuff and give us a framework for like varied attacks. And I could maybe do another attack with the same arm. That wouldn't be too hard. I need to look into deformers. That's my what we'll do next week probably is working with Unreal deformers, because that's a pretty new feature that I think came out in less than a year ago, like 6 months ago at most. Um, yeah, like 6 months ago at most. And that would be pretty cool because I don't think many other people have used it yet to do anything. Like, it's a pretty big limitation to not be able to like squash and stretch the mesh as much as you'd like. And I doubt many indie devs would have done it. And those are the only people who would make like these kinds of games. So that could be like a big boon and selling point to our project, is to make use of deformers in a way that's like unique and interesting. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop the stream soon. 2 hours and a half is a slight improvement over last time. I think I'm gonna try to work my way up to getting 3 hour streams. Um, but yeah, thanks. I think we've had like an average of like, it says 5 viewers. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that is a decent place, I think, after a week of streaming, because all they care about is if you have 3 consistent viewers over your streams, and if you do that, I think 4 times in the course of a month, then you get affiliate. And with this stream, we'd only need to do it once more to have an average of 3 viewers, and that's fun. And once that's unlocked, we'll be able to have channel points and subscriptions and all that good stuff. And I met, as I hope most of you saw, I have implemented a new follow animation and sound effect. I also have the automatic announcement for the stream on the Discord. So slowly but surely, we're gonna get all the functionality in to have this a more professional looking stream and have everything in place. Anyway, I'm gonna tune out now, and thank you guys for watching. Before I go, also, if you've somehow found this stream, take a look at the description for my socials and mainly the Discord. Join the Discord. That's like the most important thing to get updates. All right, I will see you guys Thursday, where we'll be back doing more r/destroy my game commentary. And it was nice to hang out with you guys.